Hello, welcome to Cubicle 7's seminar at GenCon Online. This is a peculiar thing to be doing for me. I'm used to having a whole room of everybody to talk to and to have questions and things like that. So I'll do my best to get through everything. And you can always get in touch with us and ask questions as well. So missing seeing you all. GenCon is such a fixture of the year for us. It's a real highlight, and it is peculiar not to have got on the plane and flown over to where do I usually come through Atlanta and then on to Indianapolis and see everybody again. GenCon is a fantastic experience. Sorry to be missing it this year, but we are doing what we can, and it's fantastic to be a part of GenCon Online and supporting this wonderful online show that the GenCon's running for us this year. So GenCon's such a big thing for me personally as well. Back when we started Cubicle 7, which was 2006, which meant that my first GenCon was 2007. And prior to that, growing up in South Wales, the very south part of Wales, part of the United Kingdom, the GenCon was an advert in Dragon magazine that I sort of like wonder about. What was this amazing show? And I never dreamt that I'd be able to go to it, let alone be exhibiting as a publisher as well. So it's been a really big thing. It's one of those annual things that I tend to take stock in relation to as well. It's like, what's happened since GenCon last year, or wondering what we'll be doing at GenCon next year, what things we'll have worked on, and which things we'll have to show people. It's GenCon means, I think GenCon means a huge amount to a huge number of people. I think we've all got our own little feeling about what it means to us. So this year, the year of the pandemic, in a way, it's stranger than most not to be able to see everybody. One of the things that I'd be really saying to everybody, I think, is just thank you so much for your support through this crisis. It's been a huge challenge to all businesses, certainly we're everybody in the games industry is a part of that as well. So the support that we've seen from everybody from the community has been genuinely touching. It's been absolutely fantastic. It's meant that initially when everything started, it was very worrying. Your support has seen us through it, and I'm just hugely grateful. So thank you very much. So what can you expect from us at GenCon Online? Well, we have our website, which is part of the GenCon Online website. And in that, we are putting as much content as we can in. So videos, little sneak peeks, things that we're working on, some images. We're still working on it, so I don't have the full list yet. But we are putting stuff together at the moment, and I hope you enjoy everything that we have to show you. Now, if you're not that familiar with Cubicle 7, don't worry. So we are game designers and publishers, and we work on Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay 4th edition, and Warhammer 40,000 Wrath and Glory, Warhammer Age of Sigmar Soulbound Roleplaying Game. Those last two are a couple of our latest releases, and the Doctor Who Roleplaying Game, Lone Wolf Adventure Game, and Victoriana, and a lot of other stuff. So if you have a look through the website and get to know a bit more about what we do. So we're actually based in Ireland, where we have our office and warehouse. And as you'd imagine, for the last few months, we've been working from home, as so many of you have. And we have the warehouse has been back up and running for a few months. We had actually a special permission to get that up and running, and we know that we opened up the office in the last few weeks as well. So everybody has been coming back, and it's been great to it's obviously technology is amazing, and that what it can do in terms of letting us all communicate as part of working from home. But it's been lovely. We've all been meeting up in the flesh for the first time in a long time recently, which has been really nice. And actually, we're joined today by somebody who's on their first day back in the office, Podrick Murphy, who's our producer for Woffer. Now, we're going to be a bit close, so mask up. Stay safe, everybody.
Oh. Dom, I didn't see you there. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Not too bad. Happy to be back and getting out of the house for a while and everything else. So
excellent.
Yeah, it's been good to be in the office, and seeing all the extra steps we have to do to stay safe is interesting but reassuring. So that's been good.
Absolutely. And great that it was today, so you can come and talk to everybody as well.
Yeah, definitely. That's exactly the one reason I came back, was to talk to GenCon people. And incidentally see all of you, but so yeah, no, it's fantastic. It's interesting. It's not how I thought that GenCon would go this year. I don't think it's how anybody thought GenCon would go this year, but definitely we're going to try to make the best of it. So
yeah, absolutely. And we get to show off one of our latest releases, the incredible Enemy in Shadows.
Yeah. So the collector's edition comes with both the main campaign book, which is Enemy in Shadows, and the companion book, Enemy in Shadows Companion, which you don't need to run it, but which if you have adds a load of options. And of course they come with their cool special edition covers. So on the left we've got Morsleep, the Chaos Moon, looking down from above, slowly corrupting everything with its malevolent gaze. And we also have the Ace of Hammers, which is Galmaraz, Sigmar's famous hammer, a kind of a founding item of the Empire, really. These are all done with silver foil and spot UV, and they're really, really nice. And they've got some extra nice bits as well on the edging, I think, if you want to show that off.
There you go. I love this bit. This is awesome.
Yeah, all right, that's the purple edging. And if you know the campaign, you know why that's relevant. And if you don't, you'll inevitably find out. And that's repeated in the little bookmark that's inside as well.
Which is here somewhere.
It is indeed. So you can mark where you are in the adventure, or some important stuff to reference. I really like that. So we've tried to have a few little treats in there for you in the special edition, in the collector's edition. And along with that, we also have an envelope which contains all of the awesome player handouts and maps. That's unique to the collector's edition as well. So it's got some nice stuff in there.
Oh, don't reveal the hidden stuff.
Oh yeah, there's some nice hidden stuff in there, but you'll have to buy it to find what that says. And actually, just to add, if you do get the collector's edition, you also get subscribed to the developer's diary. So you'll be sent all of the previous dev diaries that we've done, which contain notes on how the campaign was created, some unique stuff from Graham Davies that's really, really interesting about the kind of origins of the Enemy Within, and a few extra rules that may or may not appear in other places later, but you can get them now by pre-ordering or by purchasing any collector's edition. You'll be signed up to the dev diary straight away, and you'll get all of the previous dev diary releases. So yeah, I love these books.
They're amazing, aren't they? I'm so pleased with how they turned out. Yeah, it was. Back when starting that was a little while ago. I remember getting in touch with Graham Davis and saying, "Graham, would you be interested maybe in coming back?" It was fantastic. It's something that I'm really pleased that we were doing as our contribution to Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay.
Yeah, and it's been great to work with Graham. I got over my fanboying in a week or two, probably. maybe I'm slow over it, but it's been great working with Graham, and hearing his insights is really good. And there's a lot of his insights are in the books, in the companion, and in the main book. So it's interesting if you're a fan of the campaign at all, or Wolf Bird's history. There's some nice stuff in these books.
Awesome.
Cool. Oh yeah, the standard editions, of course, as well. So the standard editions are also done really nicely. They're case bound, they're hard backed. We've got the spot UV here on the front and on the spine, which I really love that. I think it just picks out some details really nicely. And again, you only need the main book to actually run the campaign, but if you're interested in getting the most out of it, I think the companion adds loads of stuff. And even if you're not running it, the companion is packed with NPCs, extra rules, encounters, locations. Even if you don't want to do the Enemy Within, if you want to have an adventure in the Empire at all, the companions are like a class edition. I think, especially around the Reichland.
Oh, there's so much more that it adds, doesn't it? It really gives you the good context, which I think the original campaign did as well, didn't it? The sections on the Empire and on the River Life and things like that. They really...
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, that's a lot of what was in the Enemy Within was like helped to really establish and flesh out some of those locations. So I think it's cool to like really lean into that with the companion.
And the awesome Warfare floor plans, of course.
Yeah, they're cool. I really love them. The maps in general, I think, are great.
Yeah.
Try to cram a lot of flavour in there. I love the colours. They're good too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So we've also got some other new stuff that I want to show off. So the dice tray. Now this is cool. So these are only available from Cubicle 7 right now. They're web exclusive. You can get them on cubicle7games.com and head to our store. They're available in 3 flavours and they're excellent for controlling your dice. Yay. Look at that! They didn't fall out at all. And they also kind of deaden the sound a little bit, which if we're playing a lot online, to be honest, I still like to use real dice. But I have quite a good microphone at home, and my players are like, "Why are you rolling those giant rocks on your table?" Which are just the dice. So it's nice for that. They're available in three styles. They're by All Rolled Up, and I think they're really cool. And true to the name, you can roll them up really easily. So
excellent.
I have it upside down.
They're lovely, aren't they?
Yeah.
And we're doing this for everything as well, aren't we?
Yeah, they're available across all our lines.
Awesome.
Right now, the Age of the Soulbound.
Yeah, the Soulbound. I think they were the
cool. Yeah, and Wrath and Glory as well. So yeah, I've seen some of that art. I mean, yeah, they're pretty good lines. You should buy those after you finish buying everything in the Woofer line.
Of course.
Yeah,
dive right to reason.
Cool. So another item that I want to show off. We do the GM screen or Ubersreich Adventures first. What's nice?
Let's start with Ubersreich Adventures.
Let's start with Ubersreich Adventures. So Ubersreich Adventures is a collection of some adventures that we put out online originally as PDFs, and demand for a printed product was really, really huge. People wanted a book of them, so that is where Ubersreich Adventures came from. And interestingly, I think because we had the experience of that they were out for a while in PDF and people had played them and sent feedback and given some ideas and cool suggestions, we tried to work in a lot of that into an extra section at the back of each adventure, which give ideas on like how to make them more difficult or put a little twist on them or link them all together into a campaign. So they kind of talk about links between different NPCs that you could establish. And some of them are nice, quite twists. So like even if you've played some of these before, you could get like an extra little twist on it. Again, it wouldn't necessarily be totally spoiled for you. And we give this our usual print quality, which is like excellent case bound stuff. You've got the glorious Reichland and the end papers inside. You've got the Spot UV. And yeah, I really like Ubersreich Adventures in general. I think these books came together really well. And there's a lot of like good writing and good art and everything else in there. So really pleased with that. And the last adventure, the Guilty Party, is excellent if you want to get your players out of Ubersreich, which is the location we set up in the starter set, and get them onto the Enemy Within. So it's a nice little segue into the Enemy Within, if that's where you want to bring your players, and you should, because it's an awesome campaign.
They don't deserve that.
The
horrible things that have happened.
That's the horrible things. You know, it's good and bad. They're going to have some tough moments too. So let's do the Game Master screen. So I love this, and this is one that like the physical product really is so great. There's great stuff in here. Just like content, and when you order stuff from our store, I should say you get the PDFs for everything like straight away, so you can dive in and start reading stuff. So what you've got there, Dom, is the kind of a GM's manual. So it's got hints and tips on how to run Woofrup, and kind of the tones and the themes, as well as some like more rulesy advice. I think this is great for GMs who are just starting off. It's got loads of stuff in there to really help them get established. But if you're a veteran GM, it's still packed with stuff. Like the charts at the end are great. There's 100 new doomings. There's a chart for developing or for generating adventure seeds that's really cool. If one of your characters is just looking for a job, they're stuck for something to do, they need some coin, there's a chart to roll up some odd jobs. There's charts for developing links between different NPCs and PCs if you want to like establish kind of relationships. It's just packed with stuff. It's cool, but also really cool is the screen itself. So
yeah, absolutely. Where's Wally for Woofrup?
Yeah, I love the art. Is brilliant. I was talking to someone over the weekend who was like, the only criticism I have is I'm worried my players will be distracted by the art and they won't be listening to me. So that's a good criticism, I think.
Yep, absolutely. There's so much going on, isn't there?
Yeah. And you can find... Well, I don't want to give too much away, but if you go looking for all of our iconic pre-gen characters from the starter set, you'll find them in there. They've all become involved in little escapades of one sort or another that I think if you try and work backwards from is an adventure seed by itself. So a lot of cool stuff in there. The art is really, really good.
Absolutely. Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, and also I think the ogre here is... there's loads of cool bits, but it was the first time I seen an ogre next to some humans, and I was like, oh god, those guys are big. They're like, you're gonna...
Proper big.
Yeah, if an ogre goes by, that's... you'll remark on that. That's not every day.
Yeah. Absolutely. Awesome. Yeah, and lots more to look forward to.
Yeah, definitely. So in terms of look forward to stuff, we've got, of course, Death on the Reich Companion will be out in a few weeks. So that does for Death on the Reich what the Empire or Enemy in Shadows Companion did for Enemy in Shadows. So it's packed with loads of extra stuff, a bunch of NPCs, a couple of classic adventures updated to 4th edition rules. We've got the trade rules if you want to hang around the Reich making your fortune before you move on elsewhere. And again, I even think if you're not running the Enemy Within, it's almost worth picking up just for all the NPCs, the adventures, the little bonus adventures, the extra encounters, and the trade rules. I think are cool. I just... No,
absolutely.
You could just do quite a lengthy series of adventures just on your traders on the Reich, and adventure follows you around. Go for it, and never have to touch upon the campaign. So
absolutely,
I'm pleased with that.
Our playtest, I think, serves as a good notice to that one.
Yeah, the playtesting's been fun.
try not to have inter-party fights over whether you are ale or wine merchants. That's my recommendation.
That is good, and you'd be surprised about how much blood can be spilled over something like that.
Yes. I think. Oh yes, and watered a little how much that blood can be sold for as a profit, as part of a wine containment.
We swore we never speak about that. No, there's a lot of fun to be had. So along with that, of course, the next section of the Enemy Within, Power Behind the Throne, will be coming out. If you totally don't want spoilers, clog your ears for just a moment. But that takes place in and around the city of Middenheim, and to go along with that, we're also doing Middenheim City of the White Wolf, which is a source book for the city. It's very, very good. I really like it. It's set up so that you can pick it up and read through it, and it's a lead-in to the Enemy Within, to the Power Behind the Throne, and also we've got an appendix at the back for how to deal with like the fallout of that. So it remains a really, really useful source book. Again, even if you're not running the Enemy Within, it's a brilliant city book. I think I'm really pleased with it.
It's a fantastic setting. I think I'd forgotten how inspiring Middenheim was, how much stuff there was to it. I think that's probably my choice of Warhammer Fantasy Battle Army coming out there.
Well, that's also my Mordheim warband, other than the Skaven one with all the slings. Middenheimer's excellent choice.
I just feel like I've rediscovered it. It's fantastic though. It's just the sheer I think the depth of the political situation, and it's just really so much to get to grips with.
Yeah, there's so much about that, and it's such a well fleshed out city, and you've got all the influences of like the guilders, the various nobles, the undercity, the dwarves, and all that's explored in the book, and it's just it's nice. It's a really nice book. I think people will like that one.
Excellent. Yep.
Cool. So that's like the immediate horizon. There's other stuff, but that's probably enough for now.
I think we can mention Altdorf and just in passing, and
Altdorf's
to the
Altdorf's coming. That's very nice. I've been reading the writing is like 95% done for that, and there's a lot of cool stuff. There's a lot of cool stuff, and some of the encounters. Just look, it's good. It's got a lot of great NPCs. Everybody has plot hooks to tie them into any adventure you could care to run, and it's Altdorf. And all of its bridges and wonder and glory and seat of politics and out of religion and all that's explored. And I'm looking forward to Altdorf a lot as well.
That's going to be great. And then there's loads. We won't say a huge amount of things that are going to be much further away, but we're also looking at maybe something that will touch upon the amazing creatures that can be found.
I think there's I would definitely am considering commissioning some kind of expedition to go and investigate some of these creatures in the old world I've been hearing about.
I think that sounds like a necessary thing to do.
Absolutely. I mean, we need more information on that, definitely. And I know people are crying out for such a thing, so we have heard, and it's coming.
Excellent. Maybe some sort of study of the more arcane kind of side of things as well.
I've heard of that as well, but we keep kind of setting up books with that, but then they like fly away, like pocket magic, and they run off the shelves. So we've invested in some very heavy duty chains.
Right.
I ordered them.
That's
great. Yeah, they're going to be able to hold that down. So we will have some interesting books of magic on their way as well.
Excellent, and also maybe some expeditions a little bit more distance.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you want to stretch your wings, and I think there are certain paths that are worth following outside of the Empire that might be interesting.
Yes, I think so. Yeah. I think that could be, especially if you're stretching the wings of your horse.
Totally, indeed. Or why is it a horse? You should get a griffin.
I suppose.
Honestly, I mean, Death Claw's right there in the Imperial Zoo, and no one's...
True.
Yeah.
Anyway, so enough hinting at prophecy of the further future.
Yeah.
But I think we can sum all that up with we've got loads of plans for Wuffer.
Yeah.
And I think when the enemy within is a large part of what we're doing at the moment. But there is a lot of other things in progress as well. So keep an eye on the website and subscribe to the newsletter, and you'll be the first to know about these new projects as we announce them.
Yeah, definitely. And just a reminder, if you do get the collector's edition within, you'll also get the Dev Diaries, which is another little secret line of communications. But you can get plenty from our newsletter as well, which is on cubicle7games.com. Hit news and events and sign up if you don't want to miss out, and you don't.
Excellent.
Cool.
Thank you, Broderick.
No bother. It's a great first day back. It's been really exciting, so looking forward to getting back into the swing of things.
Excellent.
Enjoy GenCon Online, and I hope it's great for everybody.
Awesome. Thank you.
Cool. And then I walk off naturally.
And another recent return to the Cubicle 7 office after lockdown began to unlock in Ireland is Emmett Byrne, who's our producer for Warhammer Age of Sigmar Soulbound. So, thanks for joining us, Emmett.
Absolutely.
This is a bit bittersweet for you, as this is your first GenCon.
It's my first GenCon. Yeah, it's good. I like it.
Excellent. So, we'll see you in Indianapolis next year.
Yes, hopefully.
Excellent.
Hopefully, here's hoping.
Cool. And Soulbound itself is in a really interesting place at the moment, isn't it? It's very exciting. We've seen the PDF, and the books are printing right now, I think.
Yeah, the PDF of the core book came out about 2 months ago, maybe, and the GM screen and the Cities of Flame supplement along with it. We have the free adventure out, and they're all gone to print, bar the free adventure, and kind of starting on our next products to come out. So we have the first adventure in Shadows in the Mist coming out early next month, hopefully, which is it's our first kind of campaign, which is set in the city of Anvilgard, which is a really interesting city that's kind of mostly run by elves. So you have to go in and pretty much figure out why it's not being run by like Stormcast Eternals and things.
As is only right.
Yeah. So it's very much going in and figuring out exactly what's going on, who the real bad guys are, who to trust, all that kind of stuff. And the first adventure sees you setting sail on the high seas, on the Searing Sea, which will basically boil you to death if you fall in. So,
yeah, I fell in that once, didn't I? I think I almost fell in that one. I think, this is just turning into a list of how my characters have almost died during playtest. Yes, there's a long list of that.
Yeah, sometimes voluntarily. I'm going to make an epic last stand. Oh, nothing happens.
Oh, in the sea. Excellent. That sounds great. When are we looking at getting the hard copies out now? When should people be able to pick up Soulbound in the stores?
Hopefully, obviously everything with shipping and everything that's going on, but hopefully in Q4, so in the next few months, hopefully should land in stores that have opened and reopened, which I think is most places now.
Yeah, I think we'll keep an eye on that, and we're trying to pass on that information as well. So, fantastic! I think I'm really looking forward to seeing the collector's edition as well.
Yes.
It looks absolutely beautiful.
I can't wait. I'm taunted by the Warhammer Fantasy one all the time, and I just want the Soulbound one. It should be beautiful. No, that should be great. The designers up above us. It sounds very epic. In the upstairs office, have done some amazing work on it, so it should be great.
Excellent. Upstairs from our expansive production studio downstairs.
Yes.
Excellent. What do you enjoy most about Soulbound?
from the game itself, I think for me it's that kind of epic level fantasy that you get to. You can kind of wade through hordes of enemies in one go, and it's that very much that kind of power fantasy thing.
Yeah.
But also at the same time, you have these threats out there that are much more dangerous, like because you can wade through like hundreds of grots and Skaven, and then suddenly you come against a chosen of chaos or a demon lord or something like that, and then you're screwed. So it's kind of like you start off powerful and you just get more and more powerful, and you're kind of, it's that epic scale of adventures that you're going on.
And I think that the setting itself has that epic scale, doesn't it?
Yeah,
there's so much to explore, so much to discover.
Yeah. Everything is bad. There's like 95% of the world or the realms are covered by chaos and death and destruction, and you're trying to hold on to these kind of 5% bastion of order, the kind of last kind of bits of hope in the realms. So you have these kind of epic scale clashes with various armies, and it's just following the Necroquake, which is basically all the undead in all of the realms all woke up at the same time and were unleashed on the forces of order. So you're kind of living this post-apocalyptic fantasy setting, which is just absolutely incredible.
I love that sense of rediscovering the secrets of the lost ages.
Yeah. So you have stuff from the Age of Myth. So in our starter set adventure, which is set in Brightspear, you get to basically discover this kind of fallout shelled citadel that is built under the city of Brightspear. That's there since the Age of Myth. That was basically built by this magical empire called the Agloraxians, who they built it to hide from chaos, essentially, if chaos ever came back.
Sounds wise.
Yeah, it didn't work. So the city basically got overrun by Tzeentch, and it has been ever since. And only recently it's been reclaimed by the Stormcast Eternals via the Celestial Warbringer Stormhost. So you go in and find out exactly what's going on, and you get to explore the Undercity and then the city itself.
Yeah.
Which should be excellent with some really good stuff in there.
No, fantastic. No, I cannot wait to explore more.
Yeah. No, it should be good.
Excellent. Okay, great. Now, Emma, these are new. Can you tell us about these?
Yeah, so one of the good things about being back to the office, I finally get to see the actual all rolled up dice trays in person, which are just wonderful.
They are fantastic, aren't they?
I also found my Nagash dice, which is very important. I thought someone had lifted them on me. But yeah, this amazing one here was done by Dan Kovac.
How did that well? Okay, let's see. Maybe this one. This one is the.
That's about par for the course.
Okay. I think we got the 1 and the 6 there. Kind of balances out, so about the same. And this one, I do like that. Fantastic. Yeah. I am a roller of extremes today. They're beautiful, aren't they? I'm really pleased with these. They come out wonderfully.
Yeah, they're on their web store exclusive, so you can get them pre-order now on our web store, but hopefully it should be available soon. As he looks off camera.
Available soon.
Excellent.
Positivity.
Thank you, disembodied voice.
Excellent. Well, they look absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us, Emmett. I hope you enjoyed GenCon Online, and we'll do so when everything goes live and you can explore everything else in what is it, a couple of weeks' time?
Yeah. And for those interested, a bit more information on Soulbound, there should be a couple of videos up where I talk through, not from the office, from my home, how to make a character in Soulbound, what is a kind of introduction to the Age of Sigmar and Soulbound. And then for people who have already played the game, just a bit of advice on kind of balancing combat encounters, because the Mortal Realms are very dangerous, people are finding.
Yes. I have found that to my cost many times.
Yeah. So a little advice to make sure that you get a couple of sessions out of your players.
Don't fall in the hot sea, being the first part of that.
Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
No problem at all.
See you soon.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, our Warhammer 40,000 Wrath and Glory producer, Zach Dale Clutterberg, hasn't been able to make it back into the office with the COVID-19 going on. So he's given me some notes to work through. So apologies if I'm referring to these. But I will do my best to present it as Zach would. We have the Wrath and Glory rulebook at the moment, which is it had its digital release and is right now just about to head off to print. The way we tend to release our books, we have a digital release, and then we have an errata phase. So we have teams of editors and proofreaders, and the producer, and I look through everything, but there's always stuff that we miss. With a project of that size, it's inevitably some things slip through, and sometimes people have different opinions to us, and we like to listen to those. So that phase has happened with Wrath and Glory, and the PDF has been the digital edition has been re-released, and we move on to print. So that's works well for us. So when you're watching this, it should be at print. There's a little bit of a lag with the preparation of the video, but that's where we should be. So the rulebook will be printed, it'll ship out across the world, and then it will be available in your local store. And following on from that, we have a load of supplements planned. The first one we're looking at is the Forsaken System Player's Guide. So the Gilead system, which is the star system that you've been marooned in as the Cicatrix Maledict and huge warp storms opened up across the galaxy, and the Imperium has been rent into. You're trapped there. You can't seem to find a way out. The governor and the rogue trader Jackal Veronius, who somehow made it through the storm, which we think is the only person who's going to get in or out anytime soon, are scrabbling around trying to hold on to what they have in the system, against all the threats that are coming out from within and without. The Forsaken System, which is how we're referring to the Gilead system. The Player's Guide gives you loads of new archetypes and player options, so there's loads of stuff in there for expanding your characters and different types of characters that you can play. It brings you new species. I know you've always wanted to be an ogre and a ratling and a Kroot, maybe all three, maybe one of those. There's some great new opportunities that come along with them. There's a new downtime endeavours system. If you know, with Wofrup, we have the endeavours that happen between your adventures. We have a system for that for Wrath and Glory. So it's a great sort of aid to the building the story of your character, as well as giving you extra bits and pieces and extra options for upgrades and developing your character. There's an expansion on the factions, so there's lots of conflict going on even within people who are theoretically allies within the Gilead system. There's and I'll give you more information on those, and maybe some of how they're opposing each other. There is more detail on some of the prominent figures of the Gilead system, and an expanded backgrounds providing more information on each of the planets. So that's going to be an awesome supplement. Then we have some adventure supplements, Signs of the Fane and Litanies of the Lost. They'll give you a load of fantastic adventures ready to run. And Church of Steel, I'm looking forward to this. This is the all forms of technological assistance from Church of Steel, from vehicles, flyers, mounts, pets, and void ships. So there'll be a lot of tech to get your heads around. Imperial cities, 6 of the most powerful locales of the Gilead system. So it's a setting book that gives you a real sort of in-depth look into those cities, and a host of adventure ideas and things that you can use in your game. And lastly, in this presentation is the Game Master screen. So don't worry, there's a Game Master screen on its way, and that will be in the first batch of supplements for Warhammer 40,000 Roleplay Wrath and Glory. Awesome. Now there's going to be loads of stuff as well coming out that we haven't talked about yet. There's loads. I wish I could, but no. But keep your eyes on the website, sign up to the newsletter, and there'll be all sorts of Warhammer 40k roleplay goodness for you. Those of you who have been familiar with Cubicle 7 since the beginning, back in 2006, 2007, will know that the Doctor Who role-playing game is hugely important for us. It was the game that really got Cubicle 7 on the map, huge soft spot for me for Doctor Who. I mean, I think as well, just having a game where a violent conflict resolution isn't the default setting, where you are really setting out to use your brains rather than your brawn to save the day and to find out what's going on. So I love Doctor Who. It's a bit of a family one for me as well. My sister was in the Christmas Invasion, which is the episode where David Tennant joined, and my great uncle Fred was part of the BBC props team that helped build the first Daleks as well. So it feels personal, but no, it's always a huge favourite for me. Our most recent release for the Doctor Who role-playing game was the 12th Doctor Sourcebook, which is packed full of information about the 12th Doctor and all of his stories, and it brings us to the end, for now, of the Doctor Sourcebook series, which, if you remember, is a Doctor-by-Doctor journey through every adventure that each incarnation of the Doctor had. Goes through their companions and stats everything up for the game as well, so you can use anything you like from the history of the Doctor. If you want the Yeti in your adventure, if you want the Cyber King, whatever, we've got it in those source books. So that was absolutely fantastic to see the 12th Doctor joining the lineup there. Next up for the Doctor Who role-playing game is a second edition of the game. We've been working on that for a while now with original game designer David F. Chapman, who's been doing a fantastic job working with Zach on streamlining and representing the game in a new edition. So I don't have an exact street date for that yet, but it's coming together wonderfully, and I can't wait to share that one. We have some supplements in the works as well, but I'll leave that for another day when we know a little bit more about the exact time that things will be coming out. But we're looking at more planets that you can explore, more locations through time and space, and bringing some more time travel aspects to the fore. So can't wait to see all of that stuff. Well, at this stage in the seminar, if it was as quiet as it is today, I'd be really worried. But I'm sure you have loads of questions, and you can bring those to us on social media or on other things I don't know about yet that may be a part of the GenCon online experience. So we look forward to seeing those. It's been fantastic. Thank you so much for watching. It's been great to be a part of GenCon online. And if you have a look around our site, see some of the other videos that we've prepared and some of the other content, you can also head over to our own website, cubicle7games.com, and there you can, as well as find out lots more about the range of games that we make, you can order from us, and you will get a PDF as part of that order. Don't forget that if you order from your friendly local game store and they are a part of the Bits and Mortar scheme, that they will also be able to supply you with a free PDF. So we please support your local store, especially this year, and help them get back on their feet after the coronavirus. The other things I have to say are that we have our newsletter, which I always seem to forget to tell everybody about. Our newsletter is great. It gives you all the up-to-date information, and you'll never miss out on any news ever again if you subscribe there. So go to the website and subscribe to our newsletter. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, keep an eye out for us, especially on #Warhammer Wednesday, Mortal Realms Monday, and 40k Fridays. Thank you very much, and hope to see you soon. Bye.